Welcome to Inspiration for You. In life, we often find ourselves facing challenges, obstacles, and moments of uncertainty. But within each of us lies an incredible power, a power to overcome, to inspire, and to achieve greatness. Remember that you yourself are the best secretary of your task, the most efficient propagandist of your ideals, the clearest demonstration of your principles, the highest standard of the higher education that your spirit embraces, and the living message of the lofty notions that you convey to others. Also, do not forget that the greatest enemy of your noblest achievements, the complete or incomplete denial of the sublime idealism that you adhere to, the discordant note in the symphony of good that you intend to perform, the architect of your afflictions, and the destroyer of your opportunities for elevation is yourself. One can live in a more or less comfortable house, on a more or less pleasant street, in a more or less bustling city, and even have a more or less efficient government. One can sleep on a more or less comfortable bed, eat more or less beans, have more or less adequate transportation, and even be compelled to believe more or less in the future. We can look around and feel that everything is more or less all right. What we cannot, under any circumstances, do is to love more or less, to dream more or less, to be a friend more or less, to date more or less, to have faith more or less, or to believe more or less. Otherwise, we risk becoming somewhat of a person. Your irritation will not solve any problem, your contrariness will not alter the nature of things, your disappointments will not accomplish a task that only time can achieve, your bad mood will not change life. Your pain will not prevent the sun from shining tomorrow on the good and the bad. Your sadness will not illuminate the paths. Your discouragement will not build anyone up, and your tears are not a sweat that you must shed for the benefit of your own happiness. Your complaints, even if affectionate, will never add a single gram of sympathy for you and others. Do not ruin your day. Learn the divine wisdom to forgive infinitely, always building and rebuilding for the infinite good. Do not lose your faith among the shadows of the world, even if your feet are bleeding. Move forward, raise the celestial light above yourself, believe, work on it, strive for good, and wait patiently. Everything passes and everything renews on earth, but what comes from heaven will remain. There are 3 existing verbs that, when well conjugated, will be luminous lamps on our path: learn, serve, and cooperate. 3 attitudes require much attention: to analyze, to disapprove, and to complain. 3 norms of conduct will never cause us regret: to assist with the intention of good, to remain silent, and to speak phrases of kindness and encouragement. 3 guidelines will keep us invariably on the right path: to help without distinction, to forget all evil, and to work always. 3 positions that we must avoid in all circumstances: to speak ill, to condemn, and to destroy. We possess 3 values that, once lost, will never be recovered: the passing time, the opportunity, and the spoken word. 3 sublime programs unfold before us, revealing the glory of higher life, love, humility, and good cheer. May the Lord help us, for in our needs, to always follow 3 blessed salvation rules: to correct in ourselves what displeases others, to mutually support each other, and to love one another. In life, it doesn't matter so much what we have or what we are. What matters is what we accomplish with what we have. And above all, what matters is what we make of ourselves. Knowing your why means understanding why you do the things you do. This is the reason, the motivation that drives you to arrive at work every morning and do what needs to be done in business. What is your why? For many, the why comes from necessity. You have to pay the bills and support your family. It comes from a sense of obligation to do what needs to be done regardless of your own desires and wants. Here's where many of us lose ourselves from time to time. We forget that we have dreams and passions for the things we love. So, what is your why? It's the reason you do the things you do. Why do you work so hard? Why do you wake up early and stay up late? For whom are you doing it all? Maybe you're doing everything to make someone proud. Perhaps you're doing it all to give your family a better life than the one you experienced. We all have different reasons, And if you delve deep enough, you'll soon understand your why. Your why and your work don't have to be tied together. You may not currently love your job, but you do it for your why. You work hard and sacrifice for your why. It's important to know that there are many people who truly love their work. It's their passion, and they can do the things they love and actually make a living from it. It's like getting paid to participate in your own hobby. For those who aren't as lucky, they can at least say they like their job. This is important. It gives you a sense of security so that you can look beyond work and learn to embrace your family, friends, and everything around you. What's my why tied to my work? It's helpful to understand that your why and your purpose are not the same thing. Your why is the reason you do the things you do, perhaps for your family, to prove something to someone, or even for yourself. Your passion or purpose is your life's mission. It may be your work, your contribution to others, your art, or your creations. Working hard for something you don't care about is called stress. Working hard for something you love is called passion. Your why shouldn't cause stress, but it should motivate and inspire you to do your best and become a better person. It should be the light to your darkness and the fuel that will take you wherever you want to go. Find the reasons that make you smile. Seek out the things that make you happy. Embrace your why and nourish it in the best way possible. Your why is unique to you, just like your fingerprint. No one else will be the same. Thus, your why completes the definition of who you are. It's a kind of signature that makes you stand out and gives you the spark that sets the limit to your personality. Embrace your why and learn to love yourself for who you are, because there's only one of you. Have you ever stopped to think about what motivates you? Do you know what drives you to do the things you do? Motivation can be internal or external, meaning it can come from within yourself. Internal motivators are behaviors driven by internal rewards. This means that the motivation behind the way you choose to act comes from an internal source. An example of an internal motivator could be a personal sense of accomplishment or simply the satisfaction of doing something you enjoy. An example of an external motivator could be the desire to earn money, fame, or status. This motivator comes from outside of you. So, what makes internal motivation important, and why do we need to be aware of it? When you're driven by internal motivators, you naturally become more self-sufficient and even more self-confident because you're not seeking external validation for what you're doing, though it certainly has its place. External motivators are much less empowering and don't last for long-term goals. So, how can we consciously use internal motivators in our own lives? 3 powerful internal motivators that you can use to improve your life are: first, focus on desire. To do anything, we need to know what we want. To create lasting motivation, you need to be able to clearly see what you're working towards. If you're not sure what your desires are, using creative visualization is a powerful way to help you tune into these internal motivators. Second, clarify your purpose. We all need to have a purpose in life. With a purpose, we're inspired to create something that's bigger than ourselves. Focusing on our purpose and using it as a powerful internal motivator will help you define your goals. Following our purpose will make us feel like we're making a difference in the world. Third, acknowledge your growth. Getting better at things is satisfying and serves to inspire us to keep working towards our goals. When we feel a sense of accomplishment, we're inspired to keep moving forward and perhaps even strive for the seemingly impossible. In the end, there's no competition when you're focusing on yourself and being the best version of yourself you can be.